There's a new way to hail a taxi in
Whoops.
Too many buttons. Too
I'm
many
clicking away.
buttons. Man.
You'd think I'd figure this out by now. We've been doing this for a few years, you know?
Never learning.
No, I'm always depreciating in value, it seems like.
Comes with the age.
Yeah. Man, I think
Deteriorating.
I finally got some sleep last night. Like, not a lot, but one of those nights where I actually didn't wake up in the middle of the night, you know, I kind of rolled through to the alarm. More exhausted than ever today. I like don't even understand what's going on, dude.
Slept too much.
Not even. It was like 6 hours. I'd be lucky to get 5 hours at night on any given evening. Because, you know, now I'm waking up early. You know, I got to get up around 4 a.m. and the sun isn't setting till like 9:30.
Right.
I can't go to sleep when the sun is out, man. It's impossible, honestly. So I'm just like, oh man, I'm moving and shaking and doing stuff and rolling, and then finally, when it starts to get a little dusky out there, I can finally hit the hay. But it's kind of, you know, it's dragging me down.
That's an office problem. That's a guy with an office job problem.
No!
Every plumber, mechanic, you know, everybody, no problem. Sleep right now doesn't matter.
Really?
Sun out. It could be noon. It could be anytime, any
Out?
day.
Just out like a light?
Always ready to go to sleep.
I guess
Always.
I must be riding the wave of office fatigue, maybe. I do recall, though, back in the day being a landscaper, you'd eat that lunch, you catch a nice spot under the shade, you're out cold for 20 minutes solid, no problem, man.
Under the tree after lunch, in the
Yeah.
back of the truck on the way home.
Oh,
You're
man.
literally lying on the grass. Just sleeping away.
Yeah, man, the glory days. I
the
do
glory
miss
days.
the times of sleeping on the pile of grass. Really nothing more comfortable. But,
That's great.
yeah, I made it here. You know, I guess, yeah, the office living is kind of rough because you know, I do some work in the warehouse, a lot of lifting throughout the day. But then once I park my ass in that seat, pump out a few emails, send a couple messages through the log, all of a sudden the yawn hits me and I start kind of dozing off in front of the computer screen. No matter the time of day, I have to like get up, stand up, walk around, lift something. That's basically what I have to do all the time.
Yeah, but it doesn't substitute for like walking all day.
Right.
We're built to like walk all day, cover long distances. That's what our bodies are made for.
No, it's a good call. Yeah, that's why I used to love being a cook, especially my last cooking job where I worked in a bar and the kitchen was like a 15-foot by 4-foot sliver of space. And I used to speculate that I was walking about 10,000 plus steps within the 15 feet, like just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, thousands of steps throughout the year. Uh, kept me tired though by the time I got home, right? Because you're standing. The sitting, I think it's the sitting that just makes you.
Yeah.
You know, you get lethargic and sleepy just from the sitting, but then you get home, you're not tired
Can't
anymore.
sleep.
Yeah, you can't sleep.
You got all this pent up energy. Yeah, it's brutal. I forgot what my average steps are because your phone tracks your steps. Like during the week, my average is around 22,000.
Wow.
Oh, I'd be stepping.
You're stepping, my man. Yeah.
Some serious stepping.
Stepping out. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny for a guy who works on his feet all day, hit the 20,000 marker, no problem, no sweat, not even thinking about it.
Tried, yeah.
You know, Emma and I will go visit Baltimore and we'll bop around the city for an hour with Emma's mom, you know, hit up a couple bars, do a happy hour, grab a meal in Little Italy. We'll get back to their place and her mom will be like, whoo, oh, look at that. I almost got my 10,000 steps for the day, you know, like marking it down. Like, oh,
it's
yeah.
such a white girl problem.
It's the rich white chicks love marking their steps, man.
Now, there's a lot of minority women who need the 10,000. They just don't give a fuck. They're not going to go buy a special watch to count that. They don't give a fuck. They like the fat ass, you know? They wear it like a badge of honor.
Oh, why wouldn't you, man? They have statues being erected in their honor in Times Square. Right? You gotta live up to the hype of the statue, man. The statue hype.
We had Michael Jordan statues. We wanted to be like Mike.
Right.
Nowadays, they got that woman in Times Square. Same thing.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of Times Square, New York. New York City.
New York City.
What is going? What is going? Thank you for making Chicago look not that bad. Seriously, I thought Chicago politics was bad. New York City. Your choice is between Cuomo, a rapist. I'm sorry. At best, sexual harasser.
Right.
That's your one choice. Your second choice is a socialist, dude, communist. This guy is. I'm on his page right now. This Zohran guy, Zohran.
You don't mess with the Zohran. There's no doubt about it.
First of all, he's only 33. Oh, son, take a seat. Let the adults run the show for a minute. young guy.
Young blood here. Zohran Mamdani. He is endorsed by Bernie Sanders and AOC. He's a declared socialist. He's a very proud socialist.
Dude, the platform. New York is too expensive. Zohran will lower costs and make life easier. How are you going to make life easier for the whole city? These are his plans. Freeze the rent, free buses. I don't even know the department. No cost childcare. So free childcare.
Free everything.
City-owned grocery stores where they're not in it for the profit. Essentially free housing.
Yes.
Cracking down on bad landlords. Frank, that's the problem with New York. It's bad landlords.
Right.
Taxes on big corporate. Oh, that's who's going to pay for everything. The wealthiest New Yorkers and the taxes on big corporations. I was just watching this thing. In some of these places, if you make $1 million this year in New York, you only get to keep $560,000.
Damn, dude. Whoa. Yeah, they're taking 50% of that? Holy cow.
California is like 510.
Wow.
Could you fucking imagine?
They put these rules in, like California did that, and then they went fully woke with their curriculum at schools, and then the richest man in the world said, I'm moving to Texas.
I'm going to move to Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're going to get to a point where everybody's just going, I'm not paying half my money. You know what I mean? Because once you get over a certain amount, dude, you're paying like 60% of like everything over $500,000. I forgot what it is. I forgot what the tax breakdown is, but it is. That's insane.
Totally.
To give away
bonkers.
more than 40%.
Yeah, it's absurd. But what incentive if you are, well, let's just throw it out there. These millionaires, man, who are going to get charged these absurd sums, these are the job creators. These are the people who own businesses that bring in commerce and money into the state. If you're going to charge them 50% of what they're making, they're going to leave your state and bring jobs elsewhere with them. And so now you don't mess with the Zohran guy, you're going to jack up the price on everything because it's all going to be free for low income people.
I know.
And then you're claiming you're going to tax all these rich people, but who are you going to tax when all the rich people leave town and go somewhere else where they don't have to pay your outrageous taxes, man?
You know what happens is that bar gets lowered for who's the rich. People, don't forget, the income tax started as only a tax on like the 1%. It was like the top 10. What was it? Was it 1% or like 0.1% earners in America? That's how it started. That's how they sold the public on the idea. It was only for the ultra wealthy. And now look, we're all paying it.
Yes, absolutely, man.
Eventually, they run out of people to tax, so they're going to be like, all right, well, you know who's making too much? Everybody over 250. And then it's everybody over 150.
Yeah, we all end up paying for it. I mean,
end up paying.
in Colorado, we're paying for everything, out-of-state abortions and immigrants to drive without a license plate and, everything else in between. So, you know,
Cops to give you seatbelt tickets.
yeah, exactly. Well, no, now our taxes are paying to implement the camera systems that are gonna send us tickets in the mail for going a little bit over the speed limit,
It's
right?
great.
Because we
It's
can't
great.
afford cops. We got no cops, man.
And that's the real problem.
Yeah, well, I
The
like
speeders.
when you go through this socialist Zohran Mamdami's, list of goals for if he becomes mayor, not one thing on there says, I'm gonna clean up the trash and get rid of the crime. Like, there's
No.
nothing about that. You never see Jared Polis never talks about getting rid of the crime. The Mayor Johnson of Denver, or your Mayor Johnson, they're too busy taking care of their own kids. They can't possibly go out there and clean up the crime or clean up the streets.
Well, Frank, this is the quote he has on his front page. This campaign is for every person who believes in the dignity of their neighbors and that the government's job is to actually make our lives better.
Wow. Oh my
Terrible.
dude, that's the
Terrible.
literal opposite of Reaganism.
It's the opposite of what the government was here for.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Your job is not to make my life better. That's my job. Your
Yeah.
job is to make it possible for me to make my life better.
You're supposed to produce the opportunity for me to pursue life, liberty, and happiness.
Yes, and you do that by making sure I have a safe environment, I have a road to travel
Yeah,
on.
can we start with a
You know?
road that doesn't have holes that I can just get to my job? Let's
Just-
start with the road.
And I mean fix it quickly. You know what I mean? Like, with a sense
Absolutely.
of urgency. Don't start the project and then 5 years we're resurfacing fucking the Kennedy there.
Absolutely. Did I
Crazy.
give the update on I-25 near Empower Mile High Field over there in downtown Denver? I feel like I was talking about with Emma, maybe. That's why, to my amazement, we all know on this program how I have been ranting and raving like a lunatic over the fact that in 5 years of my commute to the same job on the same road, not once, not one day has there been a lane even obscured or blocked off because they were fixing something. There's just never been something getting fixed. You don't cruise through the road with astonishment that, like, oh wow, the potholes are filled in. No, you're dodging potholes and you're on the safari. Nothing has changed. And then last Friday, they finally stripped one lane, the left lane, out of the 4 lanes on I-25. And I was amazed. I thought, oh my God. Now, of course, they were doing it Monday morning at 7:30 in the morning during rush hour traffic because we don't operate, at nighttime when they used to do it.
Can't afford the overtime.
We can't afford it, man. No. So
Broke.
rush hour Monday morning, we're stripping down a lane, we're ripping out the concrete, and you expect them to fill it? We'll see you in about 2 weeks. Sure enough, this
2
week,
weeks?
2 weeks. Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
so we
2028?
in about 5 years there. Sure enough, yesterday I'm cruising down. It's about a week later. They filled in the one lane they stripped. It's the first fresh strip of road I have
Wow.
experienced on I-25 in 5 years. That is
Wow.
Democratic policy in action, folks. I hope you all understand.
Must be an election year.
Yeah, that's right. The midterms are coming up. So by the time midterms next November, they'll have all 4 lanes completed just for the downtown section, basically.
They know they're
hopefully.
struggling in the polls. So
That's right, dude.
I mean, New York's about to hire a sexual harasser. Alleged.
Oh man, but yeah, so here we are, and we have this socialist clown running. New York's going to be in a
might
bad.
win.
I think he's going to win.
He's going to win.
Yeah, I do
He's
too.
going to win. I should have
Absolutely.
put money on him because the odds were in Cuomo's favor there for a while.
Shame on New York. This is what you deserve, and it's not him winning because this is just the primary for who's ultimately gonna win because it's New York. They're not gonna vote in the other guy, all right?
Notice how nobody even knows who that is.
Well, do you know who the third party candidate is?
Isn't it Wiener?
No, it's Mayor Adams. He's not a Democrat anymore.
Oh, he's running. I was wondering why he wasn't running. He's
He is
running as a
running.
third party?
He's independent.
No chance.
Yo, man.
No,
Yeah.
no.
He's toast, man. His
Don't
political
spend
career's
too much money, Eric. You're gonna need it.
well, I like how he dropped out of the Democratic Party because they were the Biden administration sent the FBI after him because he wasn't towing the line publicly when it came to being a sanctuary. Yeah, so
Let this be a lesson to the rest of you. If he would have played ball, he'd have a job at Harvard.
yes,
He'd get
exactly.
voted out, and then he could go teach political science at Harvard.
Him and Lori Lightfoot would be hanging out together, getting lunch, right?
Be fantastic.
So yeah, Adams running as an independent, and so that's why they're having this cockamamie primary to begin with. And so now you have
Wow.
Cuomo, accused rapist, and then you have this Muslim Shia. He's a Shia Muslim socialist. So that's your choice now.
I mean,
And
you should see the pictures of the guy. He's wearing his like the white suit thing.
he's got the kafifa.
like the Arabs.
That's right. Yeah, he's rocking.
no kafifa, but the white
Yeah,
silk suit.
the
I forgot
silk
what they
suit,
call it.
which we've complimented on. It looks extremely comfortable.
Oh,
Very
like day like today, I wish I had one on, but not a
wow,
terrorist.
yeah. You guys have some heat going on? I know it's summertime. Here we got overcast and we're 15 degrees below average, which is fantastic. No chemtrails still though, because we're at war, right?
Oh, dude, this is crazy. I didn't realize there were that many candidates.
Yeah, it's a huge.
There's actually 2 Adams. There's a female Adams.
Wow. All right. Nice,
Yeah.
man. It might be the same Adams in drag. He's just trying to play both fields, you know?
Right. That's the Democrat Adams.
He just tucked his dick into his ass and ran as a chick. It was perfect.
I do like how there's white guys pretending like they have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, well, the only white guy that has a chance is Cuomo. And I think what we're seeing here, though, and this is the only reason I don't think this Mamgami guy is going to win, I think it's going to be Cuomo because Cuomo is neocon, neo-lib, Clinton era Democrat. The machine still operates behind the scenes. This is New York we're talking about. They still need New York to be a major player and all their, weird gimmicks that they're pulling against Trump. So I think they're going to just need to sway it to Cuomo just so they can keep operating in their illicit manners there.
I don't think they could do Cuomo. It's too embarrassing.
Nah, sex
Wasn't
stuff.
wasn't Wiener doing? Wasn't he running for? Or was that governor? He's setting his bar.
Yeah, he's going for governor.
Governor.
Everyone's switching around now. Like Gavin Newsom, apparently. A lot of rumor he's going to run for senator of California. And then a rumor I saw this morning, Kamala about to announce her hat being thrown in the ring for California governor.
I'm sure she'll win.
Guaranteed victory there.
New York has 11 Democrats running. Then you have Eric Adams, the incumbent, and Jim Walden, who are independents. So 13 Democrats.
Right.
1 Republican.
1 Republican, man. Yeah.
Curtis Sliwa.
Doesn't matter. We don't need to remember it. He's forgotten and gone.
Godspeed, Curtis.
Don't spend too much money, my man. Don't break the bank on this one. Staunch.
Poor Curtis.
That's just like running in Denver. I mean, we had 8 candidates up for the mayor in Denver. It was 8 Democrats, maybe 1 independent. They whittled it down to 4. The final pick was between 4 Democrats. That's who people chose for mayor of Denver. I mean, because I think they were doing ranked choice. I know in New York they're doing this ranked choice thing yeah, if you don't get the 50%, you end up whittling it down over the long run, which I think is what Cuomo's basing on, or his victory on. If it's too close to call and all under 50%, they're going to do a later runoff in July. And that's probably where the DNC machine will bring out all their mules, pump up the ballot boxes with their Chinese spies, and get Cuomo into the office there.
Cuomo. He killed your grandma.
Yeah, 10,000 grandmas, actually, if not more. I mean, it's weird when we discuss Andrew Cuomo, the controversy is this bizarre story incorporating a bunch of chicks who worked under him. I still don't know the details or care. The controversy with Cuomo is the dude murdered like 10,000 elderly in the nursing homes during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean,
why did so many people die in New York?
It's insane. He killed
Really
them.
crazy. Yeah.
That's what happened, man.
The treatment was worse than the disease.
Yeah, man.
And you guys
Absolutely.
killed them so you could have this story.
Well, this Zohan Mamjami, and I've messed up his name officially 100% of the times I've tried to say it. He's a big time socialist, and he's got this commercial out that was making the waves on the interwebs. You want to check it out? It's
Oh,
about
yeah.
his grandiose idea to do something that's definitely not something they do in communist countries like North Korea. It's it's not communist. All right.
I mean, they're putting the Indian guy in the spice rack or the spice
Like
aisle.
too on the nose.
Yeah.
I already assume the guy stinks. Do you need to further perpetuate
Now we
this
go to our black
stereotype?
reporter in the chicken aisle.
Well,
Dante.
not the chicken aisle, but the area where they deep fry the chicken, and you have the tender available in the hot
Yeah,
section.
oh, yeah. You just got it with the ranch.
Yeah. Yeah. You get the black guy in there, the chicken, and the watermelons behind him, right?
It's terrible.
Yeah, man. So, Mamjami, Noonjani, I'll never know this guy's name. Hopefully he doesn't win. He's a socialist, definitely a communist. He's going to propose to New Yorkers that the government runs your grocery store.
Grocery prices are out of control. The cost of eggs and milk has skyrocketed. Some stores are even using dynamic pricing, jacking up the cost over the course of a day depending on what they can get away with.
The Democrats in these tiny microphones, man, they got to cut it out with this stuff. This has really been kind of grinding my gears a little bit here.
Plus, they all have this idea of like this evil man in a back room, like, raise the prices. Another $1 on the spaghetti. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the grocery prices are bad because of Democrats. That's what I don't get with these guys. They're running on this
know.
idea like, oh, everything's really shitty right now because we got Democrats running the show. So let's get rid of these Democrats, bring in this Democrat, and I'm going to make things less shitty.
Look how high the prices are after Joe Biden was in charge for 4 years.
Yeah,
But we're going to blame Trump for the last 6 months.
right. Those dang tariffs that still haven't gone into effect. It's killing everybody, man.
I mean, what happened to the inflation? Or the tariffs?
Right. Yeah, everybody forgot about that real quick when World War III came knocking at our doorstep, right?
Had to drop a
It
couple
doesn't-
bombs.
Need to be this way. I'm Zohran Mamdani, and as mayor, I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce. We will redirect city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned grocery stores.
But think about how well these cities in America, Denver, New York, LA, Chicago, think about how well they run your bus transportation systems. Or like think
Dude,
about how
that's all
well
I could think.
the DMV is run. Like
I know.
everything, man. Think of how everything is run that is operated by the government. That's who you want running your grocery store. That's who you want in charge of where you can get food. Man, that's a bad sell, dude. I mean, this commercial right
terrible.
here would convince me to vote for anybody but this guy.
I don't see the owners of Kroger's shaking here. I think they're
Seriously. You know, when it comes to government, the only thing they do efficiently and correctly is war and chemtrails. Everything
it.
else,
That's
everything
it.
else is a fucking
Great at
crapshoot, man.
chemtrails. Very, very efficient at chemtrails.
They put all their energy and focus on chemtrails.
I've never seen anybody sitting in line at the DMV like, I wish the grocery store ran like this. I really wish. I wish my Mariano's was this efficient.
Seriously, dude. Next time you're in line at the deli counter, or I'm sorry, next time you're in line at the DMV, imagine yourself in line at the deli counter. It'll be the exact same scenario.
Every week.
Man.
Every week you got to go through this. That's what you're going to get.
This is the worst idea I've ever seen in my entire life, man.
Whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will
Not
operate
price
without
gouging.
Right.
I love it because you guys are gonna have to do all your bullshit, right? You're gonna have to pay the employees like $25 an hour. I'm assuming that's the minimum wage. You're gonna have to give them health care, 40-hour vacation. You know what I mean? The women, every time they get pregnant, they're gonna get 6 months off. The guys are gonna get 6 months off. By the time you guys do all your bullshit, your prices are gonna be higher than the Walmart. You know what I mean?
Well, Mike, they'll just keep increasing the taxes on all the wealthy people. That's how it works, man.
On the other stores.
Oh
Right.
man, did I freeze up on there?
Oh, yeah, your screen is frozen.
All right, let's see here.
Oh,
Hey
there we
now.
go. There we go.
Yeah, he's back in
Hey.
action. All right, man.
Yeah.
The socialists are attacking the stream here, I think. That's what's going on, man.
A profit motive, or having to pay property taxes or rent, and will pass on those savings to you. Grocery prices?
What savings is he This guy's nuts, man. I don't know what reality these socialists live in, but they're bonkers, dude. They've lost touch with the fabric of time and space.
They just have this idea that they're just money's growing on trees in these stores, and they're gonna cut out those profits, and that's gonna save you all this money.
Yeah,
And it doesn't make any sense.
I don't get it where the savings come from. I don't see where they're
Where are you saving the money?
how all of a sudden will things be free? Everything will be free and you're saving money? Something here doesn't make any sense
Well,
whatsoever.
no, you're gonna buy the grocery. You're gonna have to pay for the groceries, but they're not gonna be price gouging, Frank.
Right.
That's where the savings is. The price gouging is the problem.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we'll get rid of the price gouging because the government will be standing in place, right?
Right. Well,
And
they're not making
so-
a profit, so it's gonna save.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna save you a nickel.
What has the government ever done that doesn't garnish a profit? You know what I'm saying? Like everything is for profit, my man. Get the fuck out of here.
No, it's gonna be terrible.
Well, he's gonna just end up basically creating an exodus of wealthy people. That's essentially what's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no way you could have that kind of money to be running a chain of grocery stores. No, get out of here.
No, and I can't get over the fact that anybody would want the government to run anything. Anytime the government is involved, I get as far away as possible. I mean, look at the weed industry. You know, that's why you don't want weed to go legal nationally. The last thing you want
They ruined
with
it.
the smoking weed is getting the national government involved and the federal government. I mean, state government has screwed up the cannabis industry. You know, who knows what the federal government would end up doing to it? And that's true with everything, man. It's just look at the pandemic, man. Look what happened when the federal government decided we're going to overstep all rules and boundaries and we're putting the lockdown on and we're giving you a vaccine mandate. And they didn't mandate the people. Remember, they mandated businesses with over 100 employees to get the shot, which people
Everybody
often,
under OSHA. Ugh.
everybody forgets about that, and it's so crazy that was a thing. That we lived in a moment in time where you were praying to God that you worked in a company with less than 100 people, so you didn't have to either quit or forge your fake documents so people will let you eat in the restaurant. So yeah, less government.
Or you just had to be lucky to work with a bunch of badass dudes, or everybody said they would quit, and so the boss just said, "Okay,
yeah, man.
guess we're not doing it."
Yeah, I remember that time very distinctly too. I was job searching, and a criteria of mine to find a job or apply to a place was no mention of vaccine mandate.
Yeah.
That was a main criteria. I'm going to apply to this place that doesn't insist I take the experimental gene therapy. How do people forget that was a mandate? That was what was going on? We had to actively search for places where they weren't forcing us to take this drug, which is now killing everybody in mass quantities.
I do think about it because it is this thing where in the union, yeah, you got a lot of security, but a lot of guys took the vaccine because the union said you had to. And I was non-union at the time, and the place I was working, all the plumbers said, "You make us take it, we're gonna go find other jobs." And
Yeah.
so it's almost like not having the security of the union made you free to make that decision. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know. Just it always kind of gets to me because it's like these guys, they depend so much on the union that like all of them were afraid to get kicked out. You know?
So right. So the union is what made that
Yeah.
stick.
They required all the apprentices, and then a lot of the companies required all their workers.
Damn.
So a lot of guys they say they didn't want it, but they got it. I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
No, it's very crazy. I feel bad for everyone that was. they always say not forced, but you were forced in the sense that you would lose your job, and that
And
gets
if you
lost
were
all the
that
time.
guy, you got these guys in the union. I mean, if that's all you know, I think that's the difference. Is guys who are non-union, it's like, fuck it, dude. I'll go get another shitty job anywhere. You're not even, it's not that good. But in the union, it's so sweet, you know.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I understand why people felt the need to take it, but um, man, here we are now. No regrets for those who didn't, right? That's how
Yeah.
it goes.
Ah, I never heard one person say, "I wish I would have taken it."
Seriously, never
Not
never
one
once.
person.
Yeah, man. Well, speaking of vaccines, I've had it on the docket there for a while. Um, there's a new one hitting the market, and I thought this would excite you since you are a fellow reader of the real Anthony Fauci. Um, that details Fauci and Bill Gates' wild adventures with HIV and
Oh,
AIDS. And
and why
here
they love it.
they love it, man. They love it. And so now
Mhm.
we have a synergy. We've brought together Fauci's love of or Fauci's love of HIV and Bill Gates' love of vaccines, I guess, or somewhere in the middle there. Maybe they both love them the same. But here we are, man. I can't believe it's taken this long. 40 years, but they finally made it.
We are following some breaking news out of the FDA. The agency has just approved a new, highly effective HIV prevention medication. In clinical trials, the drug nearly eliminated the spread among people given an injection every 6 months. Joining us now with more NBC News medical.
Excuse me? Months? Nah, you go change your oil, you go get your HIV shot. It's perfect. Every 6 months.
Every
We
six.
we put 2 stickers on your windshield, one for your next oil change and one for your next HIV.
They really should just get that thing on the windshield for people with the COVID boosters and the flu shot. Now you get the HIV in there, right?
So you don't forget. I love it.
D-
The best part is you nailed it 40 years later. Still haven't seen the bodies in the streets from the HIV.
right.
Who needs this? Nobody's dying anymore of HIV. They haven't even proved HIV causes AIDS. And AIDS, that's a very complicated that's just a very complicated situation.
Yeah, the disease itself, I mean, there's a lot going on there. What I find hilarious
Ah,
about this is 3 or 4 years ago, we rolled out the mandates for these experimental gene therapies. And what is one of the number one or top mentioned side effect that people are experiencing, like Megyn Kelly? VAIDS, vaccine
AIDS.
induced autoimmune disease. And so now we jacked up 5 billion people with this experimental gene therapy that gives people AIDS. Well, what do we do now? Let's create a vaccine that stops
Stops
AIDS,
AIDS.
right? Yeah.
No, it's
Well,
perfect. Just schedule it out. You take this shot, right? You take the HIV shot, and then 3 months later, you take the COVID shot. Now you won't get AIDS from the COVID shot because you got this shot, and you just repeat every 6 months.
Round and round, round and round.
But dude, that section in the real Anthony Fauci where they talk about how they never even proved HIV causes AIDS, and that a lot of people have AIDS without even having HIV, without being HIV positive,
That's
and
right.
then how they just really kind of anything they didn't know anything they couldn't diagnose, they just started lumping in with AIDS,
Yeah,
and it turned out it
absolutely.
was most likely just drugs.
Right. And the number one killer of people diagnosed with AIDS or HIV was pneumonia.
Pneumonia, yeah. It was just because their immune systems were weakened by the poppers. It
Exactly.
gets really crazy because we just all have these viruses in us and around us at all the time, but they don't affect you because you're healthy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're saying that a lot of it had to do with that's why it was just in the gay community because
Yeah.
these guys were just doing crazy poppers. Their immune systems were shot. They were partying all night. They were catching all these crazy diseases.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Tony Fauci, caused a worldwide panic by claiming it could potentially be airborne, which was a
Oh,
total
I
lie.
know,
And
total
but
lie.
he's the person who started that lie and created the pandemonium and the reaction to it.
To be fair, we made it to be aerosolized. We thought it was actually a failure on the lab's part.
That's why they moved the lab to Wuhan, right?
If you want it done right, you go to China. That's just...
When you want to do airborne, you go to China. That's what
He created it to be airborne. That was...
right. No, but
technology wasn't there in the 80s. You
the
know?
the whole AIDS thing is so insane because AZT was created in the 60s and it was so toxic that they pulled it off market. It was just killing people left and right. And so when AIDS popped into the scene, Fauci's like, let's bring in the AZT. No one's using it for anything.
Remember that drug that killed everybody? And for those that don't know, you could literally just copy and paste remdesivir into that equation.
Same.
It was
playbook.
created way before COVID. It was too toxic, killing everybody in Africa and all the trials.
Yes.
Then they just brought it back in. Let's try it on the COVID patients.
You got to refresh to be fresh, amigo. Bring it in. Rebrand. Yeah.
I swear to God, more people died from the treatment of COVID than COVID itself.
Absolutely. And the same is true with AIDS and HIV during the late 80s and early 90s. Fauci and company were stopping these off-brand, off-market, non-profitable drugs that were being used to great success to help people avoid the pneumonia death and everything else that came with AIDS. Fauci suppressed it, banned it, and forced everybody to take AZT, or forced the world to wait on AZT to be cleared to come out.
Do trials.
And then they eventually declared, no, it's too dangerous to even put out there. Sorry for making everybody wait and not use these other drugs. And AZT is the COVID vaccine, and these other supplementary drugs that were used to cure the pneumonia and everything, that was like ivermectin. And they did the same playbook where they destroyed these other drugs publicly. It's crazy.
Play for play. It was literally the AIDS playbook. That was the warm up. COVID was the Super Bowl.
Yes, you could argue AIDS was the beta test for them to get the COVID going.
That's why that Dallas Buyer Club, great movie.
Absolutely,
great movie. Matthew McConaughey,
All right, man. He nailed that one.
Great movie.
The villain of Dallas Buyers Club is Tony Fauci. He's the fucking
I know!
villain,
That's what blows my mind!
And it won Academy Awards. Did no one think about it when 2020 rolled around?
Everybody just looked around like, hey, good thing we don't live back then,
I know.
It was the same guy.
Same dude. And then 30 years later, people are making throw pillows with this guy's face on it, and they got the Fauci bobbleheads hanging out behind them on their desk, Unbelievable.
What did they call the people that were in love with Fauci?
The Fauci fanatics.
Fauci fanatics? No, I thought there was like a more clever...
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I do the Fauci.
I can't remember.
I don't know. It works for me, but yeah, it's insane. So now here we are, 40 years later, and they're like, actually, we do have a vaccine that prevents AIDS, and you just got to take it twice a year for the rest of your life.
Twice a year? Yeah, what?
And it's to prevent AIDS, by the way. It's not if you have it. It's to prevent. So this vaccine is specifically for your favorite, Mike, men who have sex with other men.
Oh, of course. Of course. I mean, you just don't hear about it anymore.
Men who have sex with other men? Or...
No, you hear about that all the time. But the AIDS. I don't think there's a lot of people dying of AIDS.
I think when Megyn Kelly came out a year or two ago and said, I've been clinically diagnosed with vaccine-induced AIDS, they had to put the kibosh on AIDS all around. They're like, we can't talk about AIDS anymore because people are going to start asking questions and realize the same dude who was in charge of AIDS was in charge of COVID, and we're seeing the same results play out in real time. So we got to just be real quiet on the AIDS talk for right now.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but we're there. We got a new vaccine. I'm happy for all the gay fellas out there. You can go and, you can line it up. Get your COVID booster, flu shot, AIDS vaccine, and just get a little monkeypox vaccine just in case. Because we all forgot about monkeypox, bro. What happened to the monkeypox, man?
What? We cured it with the vaccine. And for all you people getting all these injections, ask yourself, how many times have they been wrong in the past?
Yes.
They used to inject your dick with mercury.
I know. Was that the Tuskegee Airmen, or am I getting all my things confused here? Call back.
Poor airmen.
All that syphilis. How'd they
all
how'd they
that
fly those
war.
planes with all the syphilis going
All
on,
that
man? It's
syphilis rotting their brains. They still fought on.
That is bravery on another level, man.
Yeah, those poor guys. But I'm just saying, man, you don't have to go back very far before you like, what were you people thinking? You know what I
Yes.
mean? With all like the diet pills that fucked people up in the 90s. Remember they were like fucking up the kids?
Diet pills. Right,
Yeah, I forgot what they were called.
I vaguely recall that, actually. Yeah.
I mean, even when I was in the army, the big thing was hydroxycut. And then it turned out a lot of guys were having strokes and heart attacks. They cut it. They took
Oh
it out
my
of the.
God,
Like,
dude.
dude, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know.
That's the
Just stay natural.
I know, that's
Go
the
natural.
problem. Well, and that's why the whole Ozempic craze drives me nuts, and the fact that all these Democrats are just in real time melting as you watch them. Their skin is just falling off their bones.
And all of Hollywood.
All of
Dude,
Hollywood.
And that article you sent me, man, what the fuck? Where that is now the first. Like you go speak to a nutritionist because you're too fat, or a doctor. They don't even start with the diet and exercise. They're just like, we're gonna start with the Ozempic and work from there.
I
That's
got
now
this,
step one.
dude. It's from a medical journal. This is being advertised now. They're saying GLP-1 drugs can be used first for weight loss, says the American College of Cardiology. Diet and exercise no longer the main first line strategies for weight management.
No longer the main first line strategy. Now we're just fuck the. You know what, Frank? You're fat. You're lazy. We're just gonna give you these drugs. Keep doing what you're doing, but take this drug.
It's totally insane that this is now where we're at with this drug.
College of Cardiology. Dude, do not believe the experts. I know
No.
that sounds crazy coming from a plumber, but man, listen to your grandma. You know? She probably knows more than the experts.
Yeah, they're saying weight management by the cardiovascular community needs to be embraced, given both the prevalence of obesity and the impact it has on many forms of cardiovascular disease. And so they're saying, disappointingly, weight loss achieved with lifestyle interventions has not been associated with a reduction in adverse cardiovascular outcomes. Yeah, man. More effective than lifestyle interventions and with less risk than procedure based interventions, modern obesity medications are increasingly relevant to cardiologists for cardiovascular disease modification. All right. So they're declaring this medically now that it's okay to primarily use Ozempic. If you want to throw in a little weightlifting, maybe go walk around the block, maybe lay off the McDonald's chicken nuggets one day and eat yourself a salad. You can do that, but first take the drug. Melt away, then you'll get there. They're claiming
well, don't worry about the cheeseburger or the salad. You're not going to eat anything on this.
Right. You're just going to be burping up the intestine. Whatever gas comes out of your intestines eating themselves, that's what you'll be experiencing.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's terrible, man. But I can't believe that I'm saying this right now. We have a hero in our society that has the ability right now to transform this narrative and really influence the public on a grand scale. I'm as shocked as you are. But Lizzo is speaking the truth, bro. I'm not kidding. This is totally insane. Lizzo, as I talked about the other day, clapping back at all the haters out there who's ripping on her for taking the Ozempic and not, being big and beautiful and bold
I mean,
right?
she still looks really big.
She's a large lady. Yeah, I mean,
Look at
it's
that gut.
well, dude, she kind of shocked me in this interview. Hopefully, the audio's all right, and she gives a lowdown on her experience taking Ozempic.
So I think the only way I could do it is Ozempic, but the Manjaro. Have you tried any of them ever? Like,
I've tried everything. It's just the science for me, calories in versus calories out. Ozempic works because you eat less food. So if you can just do that on your own and get mind over matter, it's the same.
that part's hard though. Is that when you started your like spiritual like meditation? Were you doing this at the beginning? Because how do you get there? Because I can't. I'm hungry all the time. I wanna eat all
Jesus
the time.
Christ, that
Well,
bitch is
actually, it was not-
huge.
It's two large ladies talking to each other. They're having
Oh. When they zoomed out on that cow on the left.
yeah.
Man.
I'm gonna take back my words. I'm gonna eat my words. Maybe a little Ozempic might do that lady a little help
Both
there.
of them, dude. Yeah,
Being
double for
vegan.
that white girl.
Okay, you think controversial
When I
to
was,
say that?
yeah, because when I was
Oh.
vegan, I was consuming a lot of fake meats. I was eating a lot of bread. I was eating a lot of rice, and I had to eat a lot of it to stay full.
All right. So
Uh.
cuts me short there for some reason. Lizzo is doing the rounds right now, talking about how she lost weight not because of Ozempic. She did do some Ozempic, but didn't like it in the long run because she's a large lady. She likes to eat, right? But that she actually discovered the source of her obesity was veganism, and she switched to a carnivore diet. And she's been eating
Ah.
beef, steak, and chicken. And that's how she's transformed her body, allegedly. And that's why she's losing weight rapidly. She goes on in this interview to claim that when you eat the meat, you're full instantly and it's real food. So, like, your body digests it naturally and disposes of it the way it's supposed to. And then you keep on with your day. So, this is great, man. I think we need Lizzo out there speaking more truth like this, which is sure, you can use the Ozempic, but, and she said it in there earlier, it's ultimately mind over matter. And it's really all in your head. And you should just fix your head instead of injecting crap in your belly that you don't know what the long-term consequences are for.
Absolutely.
So,
Good for her. And the I mean, good. At least somebody's out there telling these people that the vegan diet is not good for you, and the carnivore diet. I mean, you can't deny eating a steak fills you up.
oh,
You're,
dude,
you're good to go.
the other night, Emma and I, we got some nice steaks, and I made a huge salad from the garden, and we were debating on what to do with this combo of food, and then we were like, why don't we just eat steak on salad? Sounds really like refreshing and good. And it was fantastic, dude. It was filling, it was delicious, but I wasn't bloated and stuffed, and I actually had a great sleep, and I felt great the next
Mhm.
morning, and it's just the carbs,
The carbs,
crap,
dude.
yeah, all the
sugar.
yes,
Cut
man.
out the bread, the pop, all
yes,
the
dude.
garbage.
Yeah.
You don't even have to try. The weight just falls right off you.
No, we'll do tacos once a week. We love the Taco Tuesday. Probably doing tacos tonight after the show.
Mm.
I'll probably do the taco meat on top of a little rice with the fixings on top. Skip the tortilla.
3/4.
I drive a Subaru. I want to just establish I drive a Subaru.
I don't care how much I want to lose weight. I'm not eating my taco like that.
Taco bowl. Taco bowl.
Like a
man.
white girl.
Yeah, like a white chick in the suburbs. That's who I am, man.
Man.
Very
I do it because
inspirational.
of my celiac disease.
No, dude, you're psycho, bro.
I was trying to think of what the name was.
Well, because it was 15 years ago when I moved out here, I started working at this salad restaurant, Mad Greens, and it was in Boulder. You get all the hippie nut jobs. Well, this is 10 years ago when liberals were into healthy eating. Now I don't know what liberals are doing.
They got
'Cause
fat. I don't
yeah,
know.
they hate healthy anything because it's RFK.
Yeah,
I remember.
that's right.
Yeah, liberals are against health now for some reason.
Pro Hamas, pro Iran, against healthy food, pro poisons in our food.
But dude, I started working at this restaurant, and within a week, I heard two things for the first time in my entire life: celiac disease and veganism. And I was like, what is wrong with you people? Was there anything? What a grift on society, the celiac disease. It's like 0.0001% of the population that actually suffers it. I'm gluten free.
No.
It gives me, the whole thing was at night I pass a lot of gas. That was basically what the whole thing was. I don't want to be farting so much later on in the afternoon. I'm gonna skip the bread.
Celiac disease. That was
But
what a scam.
even veganism, dude. What a huge freaking scamola that was, dude. I mean, to be a vegan, you then need to buy into all the corporatized vegan crap that they have in the middle of the grocery store, which anything in the middle of the grocery store, not good for you. But to create the vegan food that people fill themselves up on, I mean, that's just salt and sugars and all sorts of crap and syndicated, synthesized, laboratory-based
what
stuff.
you're saying. Don't eat that meat. Eat this meat we created in a lab.
In a petri dish.
We put a bunch of shit together. No, Frank, this is way better for you. Like, how is that even possible? One they've been eating since the beginning of time.
Right.
One you just started doing 10 years ago.
Exactly. Yes.
No!
Yeah, dude, it really like floored my head back in those days because I was in Boulder, supposedly very healthy, one of the healthiest and fittest places in America, working at a salad joint. Now all of a sudden people want this synthetic processed stuff added to their salads. It's like you could just go with steak and it's probably way healthy for you,
Way healthier.
Tastes better. And I worked in a lot of bars, mostly burgers getting pumped out of that window. Any place with a burger, they do either the black bean burger, which is a frozen patty, right? That's synthesized.
That just sounds terrible.
But the black bean burger at least has black beans in it. It's a patty of black beans. You need all the other synthetic stuff to like formulate it and keep it together. But the veggie burgers that they sell everywhere, it's the same company that makes them. They're in every single restaurant. I've never seen a different brand. They're like yellowish looking discs. They're frozen. And if you read the package, man, I mean, it's a novel worth of ingredients going into each little disc, and it tastes like crap. And everywhere I worked, my little cooking secret to any of you chefs out there, or people who work on the line in any kitchen, and you got to bust out that veggie burger, throw that beast into the fryer for about 1 minute, 90 seconds, pull it out, don't get it too crisp, then hit it on the flat top with a little butter. You get the nice sear on each side, crispified, but also cooked thoroughly all the way in the middle. And the secret ingredient, you get all that chicken wing flavor from the fryer baking into that thing. So I used to make the veggie patties that way, and people come back like, that was the best veggie burger I ever had in my life. I'm like, I bet it was, pal. You got a little meat in there, actually. Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. Yeah,
No.
that's not good.
I think
vegan burger? Get the
veganism,
fuck out of here.
huge grift, dude. It's unbelievable that they pulled that off on society. I mean, just look back in time. When did they decide, you know what, we're going to forego real food and just eat fake food from here on out?
Plants. Like, vegans are the ones that can't even do the cheese, right? Or the butter?
Nothing, dude. No, everything is fake,
get
man.
outta
Yeah,
here.
that's the worst, dude. Vegetarianism, I kind of understand, but I really don't, because you need protein, man. You need meat in your life. I mean, people who are vegans look sickly and unhealthy, and a lot of them are fat because they're eating all this synthetic crap that's totally
Our
fake.
teeth are designed for meat. Like, we literally have teeth for meat.
Great call, man. Yeah, absolutely. So, well, we're living healthier. We're living in the Maha world here, and this is good. Even Lizzo getting her Maha.
Yeah.
Dude,
thank God for RFK, man. RFK
Seriously.
Jr.
He's completely changed the name of the game.
We were just talking about it the other day. Like, a lot of people, it's amazing how a lot of people liked RFK, and then the minute he goes on Trump's team, he hasn't changed his tune at all.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
He's still against the war in Israel, and you know what I mean? In Iran, like he's still RFK. He's
He
just
believes
working
in
for a
climate change.
Yes,
He's
your
against.
guy.
Yes.
He just has a different boss now. Like what? How do you hate him? And again, all he's trying to do is get the poison out of your food. And the hatred for him makes no. He hasn't done anything to make your life worse. Done a lot to make it better.
Yeah, great call. It is an interesting idea there to hate a guy, but just because he changes teams. I guess that's a personality type. Like for me, I love the 2016 Cubbies, man. Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, and Contreras behind the plate. I mean, what a great team. They won the World Series for the first time in over 100 years. I love all those guys. Now, when I click on a game and I see Javi Baez doing great with the Detroit Tigers, I root for the Tigers a little bit. Like, come on, guys, I love Javi. I root for Javi because I love
Still
Javi.
like the guy.
You know, I was seeing when Rizzo was on the Yankees and they were in the playoffs last year. I was the only human out here rooting for the Yankees because I was rooting for Rizzo because I love Rizzo, man. He's my guy, you know. Chris Bryant, he's a loser. He signed with the worst team in baseball, the Colorado Rockies. I don't even own a jersey of his anymore. The guy's a fucking bum. I hate the Rockies.
You know what was really funny? We went to that Cubs game. I don't know if I mentioned it to you. We joked about how going in, like I'm like, dude, I don't even know anybody that's played in the last 10 years for the Cubs. But then we go in there. I knew almost all the jerseys everybody was wearing because every jersey there was from 10 years ago.
Yeah, man.
There was more Sosa jerseys than anybody currently playing. It was so funny.
Oh man. Speaking of Sosa, by the way, did you see that he stopped by
white?
Wrigley Field? No, he's no longer white actually, which I found to be very bizarre.
Tanned up.
Well, he stopped the bleaching, I think. What happened. But yeah, Sosa, I thought I found it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, all right. He made his way back to oh, it's not a really good video. All right. Wrigley for the first time since he retired. And he was there this
Wow.
week and he got a huge standing ovation and they played all his highlight reels on the Jumbotron. And then when he came out to say his thank you and wave to the crowd and he did that whole kiss thing with the double tap on the chest and up into the air to God and back over here. And it was awesome, dude. It was great to see him there. The fans love Sosa. He parted ways in a very negative way with the Cubs. And also at that time, it was pretty apparent, I think, that him and McGuire and everybody were juicing up the wazoo. So
absolutely.
People were a little salty about that back in those days. But now I'm looking back on it. I mean, was there any more fun moment in baseball than when these behemoths were just cranking dingers over the park and like McGuire?
So
70 home runs?
Dude.
The more I think about it, I'm like, can we bring the juice back? I want to see Aaron Judge crank like 100 dingers in a year, man. Like, come on.
No, it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to go see the Cubs. Maybe I'll see a home run. No, it was, how many home runs do you think Sammy Sosa's going to get?
Dude, there was one game when Sosa and McGuire were in the 60s somewhere or the upper 50s in home runs, and they were playing each other, and they were just going back and forth, just cranking dingers out of the park. And
looking like they were playing stickball. They were
literally,
so jacked up
with the pen, right?
Out of the park. Out of the park. You know what you haven't seen in a long time is the breaking the bat over the leg. Like they would, it would go foul. Breaking the bat on their head. Just snapping them like they were toothpicks.
You need those extra ounces of roid rage to break that bat over the knee. You know, that's where you get it, dude. No, it was crazy though when they were playing each other. You know, the Cardinals and the Cubs, a great storied rivalry, but they were cranking so many dingers. I think towards the end, McGuire was high-fiving Sosa when he got back to home plate after doing the rounds. He's like, "Yeah, we're crushing them, baby!"
Don't forget about the totally clean Barry Bonds. His head couldn't fit on the screen. His neck was twice as what his body used to be, his neck was wider. The guy just showed up one year, like, wasn't able to put his arms down. Dude. He has so much muscle. You know what year I'm talking about. It was insane.
It was the year, so I do know, it might have been 1999 or 2000. It was the year after the glorious year where McGuire and Sosa went round for round. And apparently, this is true, though. This is very true. It's well documented now. Barry Bonds watched in disgust that year as these two guys just clobbered the home run record. And he literally told close confidants that I'm going to do whatever they're doing in the offseason, and I'm going to beat that record. And then Barry Bonds showed up and cranked like 80 home runs in a season. It was totally ridiculous.
It was too much. Everybody
It was too much.
Who's that horse wearing Barry's jersey? It was insane. You're right, though, dude. Look, we're still talking about it. We remember that was the greatest time of baseball. It's never been better.
No,
So
never.
entertaining.
It has. That's in my book. That was the golden era of baseball, dude. Because not only were the batters juiced, but the pitchers were juicing. I mean, there was the one game where Clemens, he like broke his ankle and the blood was like soaking through the sock, and he was just pounding through it, man, just ripping.
Stole 6 more bases that game. These guys, dude, they didn't feel it. These guys were beasts.
Yes, man. But that's sport, baby. I want to see these guys at their maximum capacity, just crushing it, dude.
Barry Bonds put on that batting helmet, and it looked like he put on one of those ice cream cup batting helmets. It was like stretching out on the ears. Do you remember that? That was he took it too far. He took it too far.
That's what killed it. Yeah, I think maybe they could have kept rolling with it for a few more years.
No, that was when they had to start investigating and testing, and it was too much.
Oh my god, dude!
Barry Bonds ruined it for the rest of them.
Oh my god, dude, this is unbelievable. Holy cow, it's not even the same human being, actually. I found a picture of a side-by-side here of these two characters.
It's like your dad on the right, and then just this monster on the left.
Look at these guys.
That.
Oh my god, man. I mean, he widened. That's what's so crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Look how big the head got.
The neck, dude.
Look at the neck, dude. Like, his neck on the left is bigger than his shoulders on the right.
Actually, I think it's wider than his waist on the right, dude.
It's incredible. He put on so much mass.
The facial features changed.
His head doesn't fit in the helmet. Did you see that helmet? It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh man, that is good stuff. Yeah, the glory days. Mike, I can't believe I'm saying it. There's no doubt about it here. This is the fastest hour in the universe. I want to thank everybody for hanging out, enjoying the good times and great oldies. We do have another hour to go. So much more. Barely scratched the docket. We're either in World War III or ceasefire. We'll get to that in the second half.
Yeah. That's all important it is. Spent 30 minthat's on Barry Bonds.
His neck is so much more interesting.
Hasn't played baseball in 20 years. That's how serious this World War III is.
We will be back after this intermission from DJ Rodfather. Yeah.
Psychic spies from China try to steal your mind's elation. And little girls from Sweden dream of silver screen quotation. And if you want these kind of dreams, it's Californication. It's the edge of the world in all of Western civilization. The sun may rise in the east, at least it's settled in a final location. It's understood that Hollywood sells Californication. play a surgeon very well to break the spell of aging. Celebrity skin, is this your kin or is that war you're waging? Firstborn unicorn, hardcore softcore, dream of Californication, dream of Californication. Marry the girl, be my fairy to the world, be my very own constellation. A teenage bride with a baby inside, getting high on information. And buy me a star on a boulevard, it's Californication. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. In Cobain, can you hear the sphere singing songs off station to station? And Alderon's not far away, it's Californication. Born and raised by those who praise control of population. Everybody's been there and I don't need no vacation. Firstborn unicorn, hardcore softcore, dream of Californication, dream of Californication, dream of Californication, dream of Californication.
Oh yeah. Oh, fake out. Oh, we're fading
long
at the
song.
solo. They caught me off guard there with the
Yeah.
slow fade, or it was like a nice hard stop.
Oh, there's like 2 more minutes on that.
And
Great tune though, man. It's one of those, I heard it on the road today and it's like, oof. Great tune, hits you, man. The lyrics,
very powerful.
very powerful.
We're at a point now where you could call it Colorado-fication, actually, because that's how far California has reached out. It has infected so many other states that Colorado's no different, man.
I was what really hit me though is that the opening line is psychic spies from China try to steal your mind's elation. And this was written in 1999. That's before TikTok.
Wow, dude.
Think about that.
Holy cow. Yeah, you're blowing my mind, actually.
That really fucking it sticks with me. Psychic spies from China try to steal your mind's elation. And what is everybody doing? Staring at their fucking phone, just time wasted by,
Yeah, it's stealing your soul. That's what the phone
Except
is
when
doing.
you're watching our clips.
Right, yeah.
Time well spent.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting idea considering during the Cold War, our CIA very actively got into the remote viewing idea because they were seriously concerned that the Russians had psychic seers and people who were able to remote view and get access to our top secret, technology and information we may have stored up in some vaults and all that stuff. So, I think from a CIA perspective, the idea of psychics being in foreign countries and all that stuff kind of plays in there a little bit. There's some foreknowledge, but it does feel like he's talking about the technology. What was Chinese technology in the late 90s that we were kind of falling into the trap of?
Well, 99, that was that tech bubble. That was really
Right.
when the .com era kicked off.
Right, yeah.
But there was no social media.
No, I was just thinking we didn't have. There were
no
BlackBerry.
YouTube. We didn't even have computers that could or internet speed fast enough to just stream videos.
Right,
You know?
1999, we were still ripping off Napster. I think that was still where.
1999, we were like lucky if you had DSL.
Yes, yeah, that's
I
right,
was like,
man.
"Whoa,
Yeah.
somebody won the lottery." You know what I mean? You could download 2 songs at a time, and it only took 30 minutes.
Californication, a really crazy song. It almost predicted our future in a lot of ways, and he's talking about obviously the kind of dystopic lifestyle or living that they had there in California at the time, but now here we are and we look back and dude, great call with the psychic spies. He makes, or they allude to porno, I feel like, in this as well.
Oh yeah.
Really, I always feel like we're succumbing to this porn culture nowadays. But it's a funny song because I always envision, as an older fella, I typically envision with these older songs the music videos that accompanied them. So I always think,
Great video.
and it's based
Oh.
off that Taxi Cab video game. Remember that?
Yeah. It's so good.
I always think of the video whenever I hear that song. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Coloradification, I think, is what we're gonna call it now.
Chicagocation too. It's just
But
Democrat.
maybe that was
You know?
the prediction there in this song, which is it's happening here in California. This cancer shall spread to all these other cities slowly over time. Took about 20 years. We're living in mini Californias throughout the country now.
Yeah, good call. Good
Right.
call.
Yeah, man. Pretty eerie stuff. I do like the catch though with the China and the psychic spies
I
stealing.
just felt like that, dude. They steal your mind's elation. What a great line. That's why
Yeah.
we need the artistic fellows. You know.
90s, you could argue, was that last grasp, or the last era of where we had genuinely creative people making content that weren't brought to the top through nepotism. I mean, now everybody's the son or daughter of some producer in Hollywood or some executive here and there, and the Billie Eilishes that are out there and everybody else. I mean, it's all these famous people now are famous because their parents were famous or working with famous people. But
Right.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, this dude was smoking crack under a bridge, and then one day they hit it big. You know what I mean? And then he's like, "I'm gonna write a song about smoking crack."
Thank God he did. You know what I mean?
Well, the same thing with Nirvana and Sublime and all these guys from the 90s, which I feel like was the last era where you had garage bands
Yeah.
being creative and hitting the right notes and being at the right place in the right time and becoming famous. You could say what you want about Green Day and all that crap and the nonsense that they spew out all the time that's political. But I worked with a guy who toured with Green Day in the 80s.
Damn. In the 80s.
In the
Damn.
80s. Yeah, before anybody knew Green Day. In fact, Green Day opened for this guy's band on that tour.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, and he told me that
Crazy.
he said back then Green Day was no different than his band or any of the others. They were all putting out the same type of music, playing the same scene, but he said nobody was more focused or harder working than Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day. And the guy was just a shameless, nonstop self-promoter of his band. That's all he did was promote
Oh, that's
Green Day.
crazy. That's what you
And
need.
You got to be hardworking,
That's
man.
what you need.
That's
Yeah.
the separation,
Yeah. It really is.
But you can't go back in time and be like, oh, Billy Joe Armstrong's mom was the executive producer of Blazing Saddles, and so she was best friends with Mel Brooks, and then, you know what I mean?
Her
Like,
dad bought a million. His dad bought a million albums.
right? Like Taylor Swift,
Taylor
right?
Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make him go play. Crazy.
Yeah, none of that was
Crazy.
going on. So that's why we had genuinely creative content coming our way. We lived in the last good era of, quality music, if you will.
And that's why all those guys would it would go downhill. Like they would get really famous, sign deals, get popular, and then their music would go downhill because they were no longer like relatable or living the life.
Totally. And we're talking
You know?
1993, 94. The second you semi-hit it big, you wake up, you're in a bed covered in baby oil. You thought you just went to a Diddy party. You weren't sure what happened here. What's going on? Why does my
Why
ass
does my
hurt so
butt
bad?
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's terrible.
So that's the truth,
Poor
right?
Billy Joel.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and poor Bieber, right? Bieber's the one that's suffering the most now.
Yeah, poor guy.
He's gone off a deep edge. There's
Lost his man card.
Yeah, I mean, and then so you either go the route of, the Green Day fellas and you ride fame all the way and you keep towing the company line and you stick to your politics and you change the lyrics to your song so that way they reflect the new guy in charge, you just keep rolling down that way. Or you become Bieber, right? And you suffer.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I know. Crazy stuff. I experienced some suffering here in the local scene in my homestead. Actually, the
Mm.
other day we were hanging in the yard, and the cats they love roaming around, and we got some piles of twigs and leaf piles, and brush areas, and there's just some parts of the yard where I don't go with the lawnmower or anything. I just let it grow wild and all that stuff, and we have a lot of bunnies in the area that have found nice places in the yard to make home base. And my cat Kanji was running up from the back area of the yard at full speed. Haven't seen this old guy run that fast in like 5 years. And I see something dangling from his mouth, a bunny rabbit. He caught himself like a bunny.
Baby one, huh?
Oh yeah. And so I'm
Uh,
like trying to catch Kanji, but he's running full speed and he's far across the yard. So I take my shoe and I throw my shoe at him and it misses him. And he keeps breakneck speed, dude, just all the way sprint into the house. They would like to bring their catches into the house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so
bring it home to dinner. You should have cooked it.
Peanut, she caught a bunny rabbit, a smaller one, a couple days earlier, and brought it into the house. And I was able to scoop it into a box. There was no damage, nothing happened. And I let the little guy out, and he ran away into the neighbor's yard. This one, Kanj came running in with it, and then the bunny just took off, and Emma and I couldn't find it. And then eventually Emma's like, no, I saw it ran out the door. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't see that bunny go out the door. And she goes, no, I saw it. It went your direction out the back door. It's not in the house anymore. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not trusting this idea here, but we got to go. We're going to go out to lunch. So let's just call it a day. And maybe the bunny will pop up. Maybe not. And then the next morning, obviously, we went out, got some tacos, had some craft beers, enjoyed the afternoon, forgot all about the excitement in the early morning. The next morning, I got up, and the other cat, the younger one, who doesn't do the murdering of the animals, she was playing with a fuzzball, and I was like, oh, wow, it's very excited over that fuzzball. And then I turned the coffee pot on. I went back over to her and inspected the fuzzball, and I noticed it was a bunny foot. It was the little foot. It was the singular little foot of the bunny. And I thought, oh boy, they found the bunny. They definitely found the bunny. Now I need to find the rest of the bunny.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking around the house, just like looking like a massacre has taken place. I have to find
Right.
this
Where is it?
massacre. And sure enough, in the office where I'm doing the show right now, I saw what looked to be some sort of some thing happened. There were books knocked over, and some paperwork all over the ground. So I moved a box over, and there it was, just a bloody mess. There were some organs piled up. Kanj, he used to be an outdoor cat, so he's very meticulous with the parts of the animal that he eats. He knows what's good and
Wow.
what's
Probably
not.
ate like the liver.
He ate the good organs. He left the
Ah.
shitty organs there in a pile. And there was a secondary leg floating there and a bunch of fur all over the place. And there was something stuck under the closet door. It's one of those sliding closet doors. And I kept I had some gloves on. I was trying to pull whatever part of this bunny was that was stuck. And so eventually I had to lift the door off the track. and I reached down and I pulled it out, and it was the full head of the bunny. This poor bunny, in an effort to escape the murderous rampage of my cat, it successfully got its head under the door of the closet, but the rest of the body didn't follow, and my cat went to town on that body while the head was oh, dude.
Poor guy.
What a torturous, murderous rampage.
Terrible.
So gross. So I cleaned it up, and that was my morning yesterday, actually.
Terrible.
Yeah, man.
Cats are evil, man.
They really are, dude. And you know, the other one who doesn't do the massacring of the animals, it was like kind of, I don't know, demonic to see her playing with this little foot, like tossing it in the air, just shaking it around, having a little blast with this foot, man. It was so gross.
Pure evil, dude.
There's a great meme out there. It's one of my favorite memes, and it's like a guy fighting demons in hell, and the caption says, you know, where's my cat? You know, he's in hell, like looking for his cat, you know? So that's where the cats go, unfortunately. These little killers, man.
Yeah. They're evil.
It was exciting, though. Very exciting. And I'm glad to see the old guy still has it.
At least you found the bunny.
Yes, and I was able to get rid of the carcass and all that.
Riddle solved.
Yeah, we had a mouse, similar scenario. Kanji runs in with the mouse in the mouth. He let it go. We thought it got out. It definitely didn't. And then one morning I woke up and I couldn't find the cats, and it's really strange because they're always there waking me up to get the food bowl ready. And so it was odd they weren't hungry. I walked downstairs, and the little one is watching the big one just finish off the rest of the mouse as he's chomping it down. You can like see the tail. You know, it's so gross, dude. And then the cats, they jump on bed and they can give you kisses. Oh, come here, my little guy.
Oh man, yeah. Well, those fleas just terrible.
Yeah, next day I look at them, I'm not feeling too good today. I don't know what's going on.
Feeling a little bubonic here.
Those damn chemtrails, man.
Okay.
Well, speaking of the chemtrails, Mike, and I love it to talk about it, the weather modification and all that action. We mentioned it it was about a month ago when they passed the bill, but officially here, Governor DeSantis signs bill to prohibit activities intended to affect weather, temperature, sunlight, intensity. SB 56 makes weather modification activities a third-degree felony. Yeah. My man.
Wah, wah, wah.
Come on, I love it. This is good stuff. I couldn't find a news clip. They didn't want to talk about it on the news. Oh, this guy cares. Hell yeah.
The Air Force is still gonna do it in their space.
We proved it's the Air Force. I still haven't seen actually a chemtrail. They're geoengineering. They're doing something with the Bill Gates balloons in the stratosphere, and there's something going on. There's frequency manipulation happening, and I think that's the NOAA facility we have here in Boulder, Colorado, testing ground zero, if you will, for the weather modification practices. But this is exciting news. I like that it's in the news on some level. Maybe we get a little momentum for people to push this in their states. I don't think Colorado will ever go for it. We literally have massive institutions dedicated to manipulating the weather here. We got the Air Force here, Space Force, all sorts of satellites, NORAD. I'm still under the impression, I've been throwing this around a lot in the last couple of years, but I'm pretty much dead set on this now. I think they're terraforming Colorado to be the backup place for all the elites to live when they nuke the coasts, or something's going to happen to the coast. They're all coming to Washington, D.C. too, here in Denver, and I think that's why they're geoengineering, doing all the crazy weather. We have had the craziest non-summer this year. I don't know how everything's going by you in Chicago, but
pretty hot. But it was very cool. Then we just got hit with a heat dome. Heat dome!
Heat dome!
And everybody's freaking out because they never seen summer before.
Right.
I don't know.
No, I agree. I'm shocked by this. Here in Colorado, We've had 3 days, I believe, in the month of June above our average temperature. Our average temp this month has been like 10 degrees below our average temp.
Yeah.
So it's been a cold summer. It was also it was a cold and rainy spring. We broke the rainfall record by 2 inches in May.
So let me get this straight. You were in a drought. Now you're getting more than average rainfall.
Yeah, we're
kind of sounds like you're averaging out.
We ended the drought last year, actually. That's when we the most chemtrailing I've ever seen in my entire life in cloud seeding. The past year, they ended the drought. You never hear drought talk anymore out here in Colorado because the weather modification's so out of control. Used to be able to proclaim 300 days of sunshine a year. Now we get about 2 per month, so we're doing about 24 days of sunshine a year here in Colorado now.
They only give you a sunny day when it's time to take your HIV booster.
Exactly. Well, no, it was scorching hot this past weekend, Juneteenth, right?
Right.
You got to make it nice for Juneteenth. And then coming up this Saturday, clouds are supposed to clear after this week.
Right.
Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be beautiful, sunny, 90 degrees, typical classic June afternoons. Pride Fest is going on.
Dude, I got to tell you, the Juneteenth thing is hilarious. The funniest part is every person that's been like, I can't believe Trump said we'd have too many holidays off on Juneteenth. He wants to end Juneteenth. and then you ask him, did you work on Juneteenth? Well, yeah, I had to work Juneteenth. Yeah, so you didn't even get the day off. That's his whole point. It's not even like a real holiday. Everybody's going to be off on the 4th of July.
Yes.
Everybody will be off. Nobody took off except for banks and governments on Juneteenth.
Dude, and you know what? Now I see it very crystal clear. Last year, 4th of July was on a Thursday. Everybody had Thursday and Friday off out here. They took it.
People.
They went for the full 4-day weekend, man.
Yeah.
It was awesome. This year, Juneteenth on Thursday. Everybody worked on Juneteenth and then went to work on Friday the next day. Yeah, nobody
cares.
Dude.
Nobody cares. It's just it's just a pain in the butt because the bank is closed on a Thursday for no reason. You know what I mean?
Right, dude.
Get the fuck out of here. It's such a stupid holiday.
So random. Yeah.
You'll never make it a thing.
No, it'll never be because it's focused on a minority of the population. That's what kills me about it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the whole woke movement, honestly. That everything is primarily minority based. And so if you only have the minorities celebrating, you're going to when something's based around minorities, you have a minor group of people supporting it.
Right.
So like you do 4th of July. That's a holiday for all of America. Some would call that a majority of Americans are into celebrating the independence of our country. Majority. So that's why you get a lot of turnout for 4th of July. A lot of people show up to the barbecue, take the next day off. Everybody wants to enjoy the majority celebration because we're celebrating everybody. At Juneteenth, it's this sliver of the population. And we're talking about people who are also ancestors of the people who were alive on Juneteenth. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a holiday for all blacks. What blacks from Somalia who just came to this country are going to be celebrating Juneteenth? Like, what does that holiday mean to them on any level? Nothing. It means nothing. The black people from Dominican Republic who just immigrated to this country don't care about Juneteenth. It means nothing to them. Nothing. So, like, even people of the skin color that the holiday is supposed to be for probably aren't even into it because they're not even part of the group that the holiday itself is focused on. The holiday is for several thousand people from Galveston, Texas, 200 years ago, who were told 2 years late that they were freed from slavery. What a stupid holiday. And it's just...
I know. It's great.
It's for the minority is my main point. And anything focused on or for minority...
I don't know though, dude. We should celebrate it because I've been told it's worse in America to be black than it is to live in Iran.
Don't!
I don't know if you heard this.
Oh, I definitely heard
It's
this.
better to be gay in Iran than black in America. And I'm not even saying it's better to be black in America than gay in Iran. It's just so much better to live in America than be anybody in Iran.
Yeah, America's way better to live. It's
Way
better to live here than
better.
anywhere, honestly. We're the greatest country in the world, man.
Did you see our bombs?
The biggest, most beautiful bombs you've ever seen,
It
right?
was amazing.
Bill Maher said this great line on his show on Friday, how in order for the country to heal, basically, we need to get rid of the view. It's the only way that we can.
Oh, so funny.
It's the only way we can really move forward as a culture, I think, is
So
if
funny.
we eliminate the view. And the view might be the worst thing on television at this point. And it starts and ends with Bebop and Rocksteady.
Whoopi got that clean shave.
That's-
Looking good, Whoopi.
This might be one of the most outrageous scenarios to play out on live television ever.
She just goes to her barber. I want Battlefield Earth. That's right.
And I love how she's always ragging on how unfair America is and how we need to do all these things for black people who have less rights than white people. This is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire who has probably the sweetest job in the world. She shows up in the studio and just talks nonsense for 2 hours with a
Shows
bunch
up
of
in her
chicks.
pajamas.
I know.
Look what she's wearing. She just rolled off the couch.
Then we got Whoopi here comparing America to Iran.
And it's slow.
But let's just remember too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human
Listen,
rights.
here's the thing.
Or
Let's
international
not do that. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime
I've been here my whole life. I never heard that before.
It happened one time in Laramie, Wyoming. They made a play about it
When?
in like 1996. Yeah, man.
If you gotta go 30 years back, I'd say we got a pretty good track record.
No, dude.
Right?
It's just she has one example. One. Yeah, everybody remembers it was Matthew Shepard, gay college student, brutally beaten and left to die near Laramie, Wyoming in 1998. October 6th,
Wow.
1998. They robbed and pistol whipped him, tortured him. It's just kind of a crazy thing to do because he was gay. Right?
Yeah.
Very insane. Yeah, this is I do remember this happening, and they eventually signed the Hate Crimes Prevention Act in 2009 as a result of it. So I'm sure we all had.
Did those guys go to jail?
Yeah, I think they did go to jail. Let's see here. Shepard. Yeah, no, they don't say anything about the dudes actually, but
Because my point is, you're arguing that America is worse to be gay in than Iran. So bad that we probably locked up those two guys, and then we spent 10 years passing a legislation in the name of the guy that was murdered, in the name of the
Yes.
gay person.
yes,
Like, that's how outraged the whole country was. You know what I mean?
yeah, man.
Iran throws
Absolutely.
you off the building, and then there's no legislation. They just forget about your name. That's kind of how it goes. I don't know.
Dude, they created a play. We did the play back at our high school, Prospect. I'm pretty certain of it. The Laramie Project was the name of the play. I remember it being very popular. Let's see here. McKinney and Henderson were arrested and charged with the murder and kidnapping and robbery. Not getting a lot on what happened to these dudes.
Maybe they got away with it. It was Wyoming.
They found McKinney not guilty of premeditated murder, but guilty of felony murder. And then, let's see here. They were both incarcerated at Wyoming State Penitentiary and later transferred to other prisons. So, yeah, they went to jail.
Yeah.
All right.
So I would say it's better to be gay in America, where if somebody murders you, they will go to jail. Almost
Right.
as if we treat you like a normal human being. Because if somebody murders a straight person, they go to jail. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a great clip.
No, and we live in an awesome country now because in Florida, if you get busted, they're building a new Alcatraz. Alligator Alcatraz for the migrants, man. Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be
Alright.
built on an old landing strip, and it's in the middle of a swamp. And so the article's incredible. They literally say, we're really not going to invest a lot in outside security because the only way to go is through the swamp with pythons and
Genius.
alligators. So,
Genius.
we have a
Man, genius.
America's a great country, man. Florida's good stuff. But yeah, we got this insane rant coming from Whoopi Goldberg. She's comparing Iran and the
America.
treatment of women to America and the treatment of blacks.
They
nothing
used to
compared to the
just
United
keep
States.
hanging black people. So
It
let's
is not even the same. I
but-
couldn't step
Oh no!
foot during this
Wait!
country
That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit into Iran.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Well, then what am I gonna
Listen,
no, I can't have.
These cackling hens, man, they just like
It's crazy.
yell over each other.
It's crazy.
It's amazing that these people get paid so much money to do this. That's what kills me about it.
Have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms
Understood.
out.
I'm telling you, as a
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes.
It is up to them.
and that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering
catty,
someone for their difference is not good. Whoever does it, it's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think
that's-
it's very different to
you
live
know.
in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Iran. Do not, and you know what
Let me
Excuse me?
I love it. Not if you're black. It's better to live in America than Iran. Not if you're black. Not if you're black.
Yeah. Wow.
good.
I think
So
there's a
good.
little bit more here.
tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But yeah, I know that. I
You
know
just
that.
said it's worse than Iran if you're black. Oh, Frank, this is the greatest country in the world. Just don't come here if you're gay or black.
I like saying the preference. This is the greatest country in the world, but like, where are you going to take this, Whoopi?
And we all know that. But every day we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals. And I don't mean to say.
This is the most insane shit I've ever heard, man.
They're not big deals to you because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They not talking about the United States.
Whoopi, what are you even talking about? You're talking about crime in black communities. Like, they're in Iran. They're being oppressed by their government and religious leaders.
Yeah, man.
It's terrible.
Totally nuts.
Delusional, man.
Well, you see, she's holding on to her point as the rest of them are talking and actually making sense in the fact that Iran is a very oppressive regime. She's determined to equate how they treat women in Iran to how all black people are treated in America, as if they are oppressed, just like the oppression going on in Iran. It's the determination to prove this point is so beautiful. Yes, man.
I'm talking about
nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent.
Good.
But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not
and we
everybody
shouldn't-
feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry,
Then go
when
to
you think
Iran,
about-
bitch. Nobody's keeping you in America. Pack your shit and go to Iran. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know. What is the point here, man? Like,
And everybody that feels that way, take them with you. I don't care. Go to Iran.
yes.
You know how I know this place is better for black people than Iran? Iran doesn't have a problem at their border with black Americans trying to get in.
Right.
You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, there's no country on earth that has black Americans pounding on the door trying to get in.
Great call, dude. What other country are there caravans of thousands of people marching to the border to get into?
Just trying to get in. It's crazy. Come on. Let's
Totally
be serious here.
I know. And Whoopi, you lived such a good life. You
Such a
stole the name of a Jew and rode that fame and coattails all the way to the top. What could you possibly be complaining about? As a black woman, a gay black woman, by the way, you made it this far.
Did you get diddied?
Oh,
Is that the-
oh yeah.
Explains the anger.
I'm sensing some Bieber angst coming out of this lady.
She lost her man card.
the
Poor
fact
guy.
that we got the vote in 1965. As
Okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even.
We didn't even get our vote till 60 years ago. Nobody there has a vote. Nobody has a vote. Not one person in the country has a vote. I'm sorry, one person has a vote.
Yeah. Oh, Whoopi dug herself a grave on this one.
Even the same universe. They can't go out of their house. The women.
you know what? There's no way that can make you understand.
Let me try
There's
No! Because it's not true.
There's no way I can get you to understand this lie I'm trying to perpetuate.
The problem is you just can't see it from a black perspective, you know?
Exactly, man. That's
Her
right.
lived experience.
Exactly. The rest of them are just racist, man. Racist bigots.
You know,
That's
you'll
like-
never, whoever that girl is in the black, you'll never see her again. She's way too smart for the show.
Right.
You hear all these logical points.
You're right on.
You'll never see her again.
That's right. Can we get Joy Behar to stay more stupid, just to interject a little nonsense into this conversation?
Let's get another fat boomer comedian chick. Somebody that hasn't been funny for 30 years.
Well, dude, I forgot that Rosie O'Donnell was in Whoopi's seat years ago.
No.
I think Rosie was a host on The View.
Wasn't it like Barbara Walters? I don't know. Who was the old lady?
Barbara Walters was on The View.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, Rosie first hosted the show from 2006 to 2007. It was a short-lived run there. And though that's when she had the public feud with Donald Trump, apparently. All right, cool. Yeah, well, it's been more fun with Whoopi.
Try to reverse roles with a black person in this country, let's say, because
Well, let's get the white Jew to give us some perspective on the black experience in America.
There's no way they're digging themselves out of this hole. This is so good. Every producer's in the back, like, cut to commercial. Go to commercial. Joy, listen to me. The minute the word black people comes out of your mouth, we're cutting to commercial. I don't care what the topic is.
Yes, man. This might be the View clip of the century, dude.
I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just try to understand from their point of view. From that point of view, this country does not do them well. Does not go for
I
them.
completely
So they acknowledge that.
And we should
There are
compare
more
quantity.
black millionaires in America than any other country on earth.
I know, dude.
Come on.
I've been
Come
saying
on.
this since the summer of love of 2020. There is no better country in this world for black people than America. I mean,
Yes. Not
We're
just
the-
black people, everybody.
Everybody, but for black people, even 200 years ago, it was 150 years ago. It sounds crazy. We fought a war to free you guys from slavery. I did like, is that?
Well, not us. Our family was in Europe.
We were slaves to other rich people in Europe. Yeah.
We were slaves to the Muslims.
But we're the only country who fought a war to end slavery 150 years ago or more. I can't, almost 200 years ago, I feel like now. 150, right? Yeah, we'll go 180. But either way,
better.
we're the only country who did it. Everybody else had to follow suit after we declared slavery is not such a great thing. Right? I mean, we were the first. That's it. We're the country.
I know, it's amazing.
It's crazy, dude.
Shithole country. We didn't even get to vote till 60 years ago, Frank.
Yeah, man.
If you're talking about Iran, Iran, of course, is doing worse things, but relatively speaking,
Joy, you know
it feels
this.
bad.
Reaching in. You can see her hand in it. Joy, let me talk for the black people now.
Yeah, she's almost literally half her body's over the table trying to get in there, man. Yeah.
This might be the funniest show on TV.
Yeah, I think it is. Just genuine entertainment. This is it.
Seriously.
Of course, is doing worse things, but relatively speaking,
Joy, you know
it feels
this.
bad.
Okay, but I think you know that Iran is significantly
I
worse
guess
than
we're
our
going to
country
come
on
back
that.
and
Listen,
talk.
I was in
We're going to come back and talk
college.
more about it.
This lady is about to lose her mind. She can't believe what's going on right now. Like, you people are really telling me Iran is better than America. She's literally like, you cannot be telling me you think it's better in Iran.
Dude, you know the funniest part about this whole clip is the black, the Jew, and the Arab. That's the one on the other right side. She is like, I think she might even be Iranian.
I think she is Iranian.
Yeah, and so you the black, the Jew, and the Iranian were literally screaming over each other, and this whole time, the one white chick and the one black chick haven't said a word this entire conversation. They just like quietly sat there.
Oh, that white chick.
She's not
really early. She's even trying to move away from Whoopi so she's not in the shot. This is so good.
Oh man, I think that's it. That was the end of the clip there. Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful.
Yes, man, that's what we live
Better in Iran than to be black in America,
dude.
And the fact that people do believe that is insane.
I didn't get any like video of it, but here in Denver, we had people go to the Capitol on Sunday, I think, protesting for Iran.
I can't believe it, dude. The Iranian flags. Where are you guys even getting these flags?
Dude, whoever's making flags, killing it the last 5 years.
We got to start a company. I mean, we got to get it. It might be too late. We're getting in at like the peak of the bubble here.
Right, yeah.
Man, these guys.
You sell flags and kafifas. That's what.
You imagine 2019, you're sitting there, a flag maker. Your wife just left you.
Right.
Bro, you lost your home, drained the 401k. You're about to close it up, man. You can't. There's no market for flags anymore. And then the Ukraine war happens, and you are just
Yeah,
Scrooge
man.
McDuck jumping in your pile of money.
Dude,
right now.
seriously swimming through the change.
Who would have thought? Flags.
Well, 2020, like the signs and flags started coming out that I'd never seen before. Like, it used to be the rainbow flag, and then 2020 is when they brought in the triangle and all these extra colors, and like
ultra
they really,
inclusive.
yeah, man, they really kind of pumped it up with the flaggage for the BLT sandwich community, and then Ukraine war started. And then now we have the Palestinians. And then now I guess
Iranians.
everyone's down with Iran. The Gaza thing, I can understand the support for anti-genocide. I see it. I can see and understand the lane that these people are driving in. Iran is just an awful, evil country, dude. I mean, to their own people. There's a
Dude, to
terrible country,
everybody.
dude. It
They're
might be one of
literally funding terrorist groups to attack us.
I know.
That's like, what do you...
Dude, their national slogan is "Death to Israel, death to the United States." Like they really
Little Satan and Big Satan.
That's right. Yes.
We are the Big Satan.
I mean, when it comes to diabolical, pure evil, it's Iran, man. Like,
yeah.
To have the Iranian flag in your closet and you're dusting it off for the new protest this weekend is kind of mind blowing to me. Like, I don't know.
Do you guys really just love Iran because Trump bombed? Is it literally just you're gonna go against Trump no matter what he does?
It is that. Yes.
I mean, you love Hamas, you love Iran, really? Come on.
Well, this is what's going on with the sugary drinks and the Maha movement. I never thought I'd live to see the day where places like NPR and CNN and MSNBC are putting out news items and articles where they're against RFK changing the formulas and getting these red dyes. Like they're
What
so
is that, beet juice? No. Put that petroleum byproduct back.
Dude.
We want the petroleum byproduct back in the
Yes.
food.
It's totally insane that they hate Trump so much. The Trump derangement syndrome is so heavy and thick that they won't even welcome with open arms taking poison out of food for children. It's so nuts. Like, you're so anti-Trump, you're pro-poison. That's where these people are, man. It's crazy
And everybody
to me.
forgets it was the left that were the original vaccine skeptics.
Yes, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Pretty wild stuff.
Speaking of Iran, we got to talk about it. The war that never was.
Yeah. Hey, we got to give a little credit where it's due to us, my man. I think we were kind of in the minority of people out on the interwebs. Not so much poo-pooing it, but not getting our panties all up in a bunch because we thought World War III was going to happen. This definitely smells of a money grab of some sort. Somebody made a lot of money in the military-industrial complex this last weekend.
Oh, yeah. But, dude, Iran bombed Al Udeid Air Base.
Is that where you were?
I was.
Yes,
yeah,
all right. That's
doing
what I
the
thought.
deed.
Yeah. Serving your country, my man.
Al
Absolutely.
Udeid, man. I was there for like 5 months, 6 months.
The bombing is hilarious. I don't know if you dug into any of the info about it, but they warned both Qatar and our own government hours before the bombs.
Yeah.
They told them exactly what they were firing and where, and they weren't even fired at dangerous or targets that could elicit any kind of casualty. This is all for
Just
show.
like we warned them before we bombed them.
Yes. And
dude, it's all for show. The whole thing is fake.
The whole thing was fake, dude. The world is a stage and we are the audience, and it's just really kind of hilarious to watch it play out from that perspective. You know, if you were in the mindset of, I think people are making a lot of money off of something here, and I don't really think a lot of people are going to die, and I definitely don't think this is World War III. You probably had a very entertaining last 4 days. If you are Tucker Carlson or Ian Carroll or Candace Owens, someone needs to check on your well-being right now because these people were going totally
or Dave
berserker.
Smith. That guy was practically in tears.
I can't listen to Dave Smith
This is
anymore.
be World War III.
I know.
So many millions of people are gonna die. And what's everybody like, dude? Calm down, man. Hey, funny man, tell a joke.
I know. He even renounced his vote for Trump. Like, dude, you're gonna regret saying that, man. I know. Come on, man. It's gonna be
relax, man.
All of these guys. I mean, even Alex Jones was kind of going off the rocker a little bit, but it's just they live for the clicks, and so you got to be dramatic and pretend like the
World War III.
Yeah, everything is just high drama, and so. But this was just a money grab, and it was all for show. And from what
but literally, it's like World War III. Everybody's gonna die, and then I go take a shit in the morning, look at my phone. Oh, peace deal. Okay, truce. All right. Yeah. Then I get a little break at lunch. Like, oh, peace deal's off. They're still bombing? Oh, okay. Then after work, oh, peace deal back on? What is going on, man?
Yeah, it's all for to move money in the market, to move money around, to dust off old weaponry that we need to blow up before it goes old. And this is military-industrial complex, man. We do it every few years. Something happens overseas, and we send a few bombs or bomb something ourselves. And we've been bombing the Houthis in Yemen for 10 years now. Nobody says anything about it ever. Nobody complains.
Cares.
Nobody cares.
It's good practice for the boys.
I know.
Dude, those B-2 bombers, man, 40-hour flight. That is crazy. I ran and back from Missouri. Insane.
You think you could do that faster in this day and age, right?
Could we take off from a coast?
Yeah, I know. Seriously. And what kind of movie are you doing on this kind of a long flight? I mean, are you doing the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I presume, or something with a lot of extra time to play out?
Well, see, I feel like I don't know. You don't think like on those flights you could just put it in autopilot, go take a nap?
I think all our super jets are run by some AI system that we don't even understand yet. I'm sure.
Why even have a pilot in there at this point?
Again, I think it's for show, so that way when they're going, past any other planes, you can wave. Like,
well, who's gonna moon the other guy?
40 hours though, like the Concorde could go from like LA to England in 2 hours or whatever. We can't pull that kind of stuff off.
It wasn't carrying the biggest bomb in the world, stealth.
Right? Yeah, good call, man. Yeah,
and they had to go stealth pattern and into safe airspace for the refuels.
That's why this is all just such a production in my book. We know we have the ultra crazy, supersonic, high tech, gravity defying ultra tech that they won't release to the public or let us see. The gimbal video and all that stuff, the Tic Tac. I firmly believe that's our tech. If we were really in a World War scenario where we had to take something out in record time, I think we would be utilizing our super secret technology to rock that situation out. We wouldn't be flying these B-2 bombers. People were showing images of these things flying out of Missouri the day they took off. Everybody knew this was happening. Like there was no sneak attack. There was no surprise. The public saw the planes. We were saluting the B-52 bombers as they went overseas. I mean,
so fake.
Yeah,
like a movie.
dude.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a fucking movie, man. That's why it was so hard to take seriously. And honestly, I knew this was all going on, but I couldn't stop watching that video clip of Will Smith performing live in London. I was like, well, this is like the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life, man. Like, I can't stop watching it. Why did he do this? It makes no sense.
Nobody was dancing.
The song is called Pretty Girls, and he's surrounded by men. It's just...
And dancing with a dude.
I know, yes, very
close.
They
were the only two dancing. It was weird. It was really weird.
So I was too distracted with Will Smith to really get caught up in the emotions of this phony World War III that unfolded. But like I said the other day when we were kind of playing it out, at the very least, I think this was a military-industrial complex. Let's spend some money. Let's make some money. Let's show off some of our toys. Let's have some fun. At maybe the most level, I think, at the highest point, I think this had a lot to do with China and China's dealings with Iran. And I think Trump is just stepping in and he's putting America first. I think that's what's going on here. I think this is part of it, getting control of the Strait of Hormuz. And, this is America first. This is Trump wheeling and dealing. And when you look at Trump's cabinet, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, these are hardliners against China, and it's very on purpose. Trump went into this term focused on China. And so, Iran, their number one importer-exporter is China. And so, obviously, this must have something to do economically with China. That's just my perspective on it.
It is crazy. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen in 2027 now that Trump's in office.
The Chinese always good at delaying and rescheduling and refreshing to be fresh, because for thousands of years, China's been China.
I know, it's insane.
And the U.S., all these other countries have been warring and taking over and conquering, and all these borders have changed everywhere. I mean, we created Israel 50 years ago. We just created it in the middle of the Middle West. You know what I mean? Like we're just forming countries out of nothing in the middle of nowhere, right? So that has gone on all this time. China's just been China, just riding out the wave and waiting the storm out. And
had a couple tiffs. Japan took a little bit. For a while there.
Absolutely. Right. But
yeah, China was always China. Yeah.
Always just kind of, they stick to their homeland. They got nice territory. They have a lot of space, and they
lot to conquer. Yeah.
They did their conquering thousands of years ago with the Mongolians and all that. They've got their kind of zone set up, and the last thing they want is Taiwan, apparently, right? That's the last get. Maybe Trump, art of the deal, master of the deal. What if he gives them Taiwan? What if he's like, here you go?
That'd be crazy.
Wow. Just take it.
Be a great move.
You take Taiwan, we'll take Greenland.
I was just thinking
and we'll call it a draw.
Canada.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you have to take Canada if you take Taiwan. Try to man them up a little bit, toughen them up.
They're giving Canada to the Russians. I already know it, man. Same culture, though. Cold weather, big time drinkers, hefty individuals, pale skin. I think Canadians and Russians would get together very easily.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
no deal, though. Did you ever hear that conspiracy about Alaska was actually a payback for a secret loan?
Wow. So payback from Russia or Canada? Who did we get Alaska from?
From Russia.
It was Russia. All right. Because they do there's land, right, that it almost touches, or there's like a series of islands, and then with the ice, right, that it's basically they're connected.
Yeah, but that's what it was. They're saying there's no evidence, but it's like a conspiracy going around that because Russia helped during the Civil War, but we couldn't. So Russia did send a fleet to America during the Civil War, which helped the Union, and they couldn't just write a check to Russia for nothing for paying them back for the help during the Civil War. So allegedly, Russia said, "We'll take this useless land and give us the check for the land."
Wow.
Yeah.
Little did they know how much oil was up there, right?
Well, back then.
I like that rumor. That's a nice little conspiracy theory, if you will. I'm down with it. I mean, generally, it doesn't make sense that Russia is our enemy. We should be buddies with Russia. This whole thing is very fake. It was the neo-libs and neocons who got the ball rolling with Russia being our existential enemy. It was back in 2012, I want to say, that Russia announced they wanted to be part of NATO. And that's not a theory. That's a fact. Putin put out a statement. He wanted to be in NATO. It was a potential thing that would have happened. And then Obama, we said no. And then we destabilized Ukraine, took out their leader, installed our puppets, created several civil wars, and then forced Russia's hand to encroach so we could create a proxy war.
And then Putin invaded because the enemies were knocking on his door, and we all looked around like, what are you doing? Why'd you invade? This madman, unprovoked, just took over this sovereign land.
And, with the whole Iran thing and the war in the Middle East, it's getting all this attention internationally. The victim in all of this is Zelensky and his t-shirts, man. All the tattered sleeves. Dude, nobody.
Oh, poor Zelensky, dude. You just broke my heart. Nobody's talked about it.
Well, do you know what happened too? He's at the G7 summit meeting that they have, or they have a NATO meeting going on, and Zelensky's there. And you know what? I think he caught wind of what's going on. Look who's wearing a suit, bro.
No.
He's wearing a fucking suit, man. Yeah.
I just picture him like walking back and forth outside the White House in a suit. Like, okay, not gonna mess it up this time. You got this, Vladimir. You got this.
It is so funny though. He did have that meeting with Trump, didn't wear the suit, and then all of a sudden no one's talking about Ukraine anymore in the news, and we're bombing Iran and we're doing all this shit in the Middle East. Like no money, no weapons going to Ukraine anymore. So he shows up at this meeting wearing a nice suit. Hey Trump, look at my suit. Come on.
In this suit, we take no for an answer. We do not take no. Poor Zelensky.
Yeah, in all this Middle East melee, everybody forgot about poor Zelensky up in Ukraine and his sleeves, man. Yeah.
Well, now he's really realizing that the gig is up here because we spent hundreds of billions of dollars in 3 years on your stupid little country. We just took over Iran with a couple jets.
Right, dude. Good call, dude.
40-hour flight from Missouri. We own Iran, apparently.
That's right. Good call. See what happens when you kiss the ass of the world leader, man? Yeah. BB did a little ass kissing. Look what he got. This is what he got.
BB always shows up in a suit.
That's right.
Those Jews know how to dress, you know.
They're good at flattery. All right, that's.
When you walk in, tell Trump he looks like he lost weight. You know. I just picture Zelensky with a little note card. Okay, compliment. Okay. Don't mention the cocaine. Okay. We got this.
So true, dude. That's so funny. No suit, gets kicked out of the office, no money, no weapons, and then all of a sudden he sees what happens in Iran, and he shows up to this thing with a nice tailored suit. He's looking spiffy.
We didn't even know you had those bombs. Poor guy.
Oh, man, yeah.
The party's over.
It is, unfortunately, for Zelensky. No more suitcases of cash coming his way.
Wearing the black suit. No, I need a suit. I know. Just in case Trump's there. I know it's at the White House. Just in case. Poor guy.
Yeah, man, he gets there and he opens up his phone. He shows Trump all the Trump meme coins he purchased the other day. He's like, oh, yeah, I got a whole wallet. Does a prayer with the Trump Bible. Buddy, come on.
Steaks, anybody? Trump water? He's got everything. Remember that spread Trump had? Like, I just enrolled in your college. Poor guy.
That's right. And everything happening in the Middle East, the true victim is Zelensky in this whole thing.
I literally forgot all about him until you.
Dude, so did I.
Forgot about Ukraine.
No, but then right before we went live, it was trending on Twitter. Like Zelensky wore a suit, and I was like, "What? Zelensky's still alive? I totally forgot about this guy. Like, totally forgot about Ukraine and the war. Everything, man."
You know what it is? I haven't seen a Ukraine flag in so long.
Same.
Oh God.
And dude, that's how you know the whole Ukraine thing was just a production and a show. That's how you know. Because at no point was anyone concerned about nuclear annihilation or any of that kind of stuff. So that's how you know all of this, man. It's all a show. You know what? You'll know it's World War III when you're taking a shit and a bomb lands on your neighbor's house.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
rattles,
And you're starting,
yeah.
like when you can't make it to the grocery store because there's bombs flying around and drones cruising all over the sky.
Or when you're a young man watching the news, hoping your number doesn't come up.
Yes.
That's one of the scariest videos of the guys watching the lottery.
During Vietnam and seeing their birthday show up on the screen. Oh, man, that is brutal. Unless you're George Walker Bush, George W., then you just transfer to a different airbase and not show up, and nobody knows where you are.
All of them. Donald Trump, he's got the bone spurs.
They are all bone spurs. Oh, yeah, man. Absolutely.
Had dementia back then.
That's right.
They said he was too old for Vietnam.
he was in mental decline.
Maybe he'll be president in 60 years. But right now, too old.
Oh, man. Oh, well, Mike, I can't believe I'm saying it. There's no doubt about it. This is the fastest hour in the universe. I want to thank everybody for hanging out and enjoying the good times and great oldies. We will be back on Sunday. Plenty more to talk about. I got a nice one on a hearing that nobody talked about this week concerning the Autopen. And a lot of evidence that's come out. This will be a good one for Sunday. We'll definitely get that in there. And then whatever else, World War III scenario and nuclear annihilation, whatever else comes across our way, we'll be sure to chat about on Sunday. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully they continue not chemtrailing us and we can get some sunshine in.
A little bit over here, please. This heat dome.
All right, yeah. Curb the heat dome a little.
Did I put in an order online or whatever? You're just listening, right?
BillandMelindaGates.com. They have a little pamphlet you can fill out there.
No more Melinda.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Just Bill.
Just Bill. Of course.
Poor
Folks,
guy.
thanks again. We got DJ Rodfather here jamming us out on the outro. We will see you all on Sunday. Sticking with the Chili Peppers. I love it, man. Hell
album.
yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
How long will I slide? Or separate my side? I don't believe it's fair. Slitting my throat is all I am. I heard your voice through a photograph. I thought it up and brought up the past. Once you know you can never go back, I gotta take it on the other side. The centuries are what it meant to me. A cemetery where I marry the sea. A stranger thing that never changed my mind. I gotta take it on the other side. Take it on the other side. Take it on. Take it on. How long will I slide? Separate my side. I don't believe it's fair. Asleep